There are four flavors of self doubt that I've observed in my clients and in myself. They are self questioning, waffling, inner conflict, and self criticism. Let's talk about each of them. Self questioning is when you have an instinct, but you hold yourself back from following it. You're like, I have something to say in this meeting, but you're not sure if it's appropriate for you to speak up, so you hold yourself back. Or you're like, I think we should do X, not Y, but your manager says to do Y, so you stay quiet and you do Y. The thing holding you back isn't really your own perspective or opinion. It's more of an external should or an authority figure's voice in your head that makes you pause and question yourself. And you thought you'd feel good about yourself for doing what you're supposed to do, but instead you just feel dissatisfied. Waffling, the second kind of self doubt, is when you can't seem to even find your instinct or it just keeps moving around on you. One day you're like, I should definitely quit my job. The next day you're like, what was I thinking? I should definitely stay in my job. The next day you're like, okay, maybe I should take a sabbatical, think about things, and then maybe come back to my job. And then the next day it's something else. Either you can't find conviction in any of your options, or you find yourself having conviction in something different every single day. But either way, you can't seem to just pick a thing and move forward. And you and your loved ones are getting pretty tired of hearing you have the same conversation again and again. The third flavor of self doubt, inner conflict, is when you have two instincts that are going in opposite directions. Let's say something in a relationship isn't quite working for you. One part of you says, we really need to speak up and say we want to do something differently. And then another part of you says, we can't do that. We're going to make things really awkward and hurt the relationship. And then you're stuck in the middle with the worst of both worlds, saying nothing and quietly seething. And the fourth flavor of self doubt, self criticism, is when you have an instinct and you hate it. You say something in a social gathering, and then you're like, why did I say that? That was so stupid. You procrastinate for a couple hours, and then you're like, why did I do that? That was so stupid. Or you order an extra drink at dinner, and then you're like, why did I do that? That was so stupid. And you try to criticize yourself into improving, but somehow it doesn't quite seem to work. Now, here are the quick and dirty solutions to each flavor of self doubt. If you are self questioning and holding yourself back because of external shoulds, you need to develop a clearer inner rubric. You are good at following rubrics, but a clear outer rubric that somebody else gave you will always trump a vague inner rubric. And right now, you're being pulled around by an outer rubric that you don't fully agree with. So take the time to define your standard of success, your key metrics, and the expectations that you are trying to meet. Check out my article on setting deliberate, defined, doable, and deconflicted expectations to get started. I've linked that article above. If you are waffling and having trouble committing either way, what you need to do is clarify your criteria and gather more data. Now, don't make clarifying your criteria into a whole big project. Choose 3 words and let them be your compass. I wrote an article about that, which I've linked above. And then get started doing experiments and gathering data. My series on 5 quick career experiments you could do this week is a great place to get started. I've linked that above as well. Now, on to the third flavor of self doubt. If you're stuck in inner conflict that's putting you in a lose lose situation, you need to create a new win win option. Lose lose is not a reality of your situation. Lose lose is a framing of the situation that's been created by your brain. So don't put your effort towards reconciling yourself to the lose lose. Put your effort towards shaking up your brain's framing and creating a win win option. I have a 4-step process for resolving inner conflicts, and it's a great place to start. Check out that article linked above. And if your brain is stuck in self criticizing loops, there's 2 things you need to do. You need to retrain your brain and disarm its overpowered protective mechanism. And you need to find new pathways to the goals that your bad habits are trying to achieve. Retraining your brain can be done in a few minutes a day. Design your own mental workout routine using my masterclass on how to like yourself. I've linked that above. And correct your bad habits without relying on willpower or discipline by figuring out what need that habit is serving today, and then finding a different path to fulfill that same need. I call this technique same goal, different pathway. I've talked about it in an article before, and I've linked that above. Now, if you follow me online, you are essentially enrolled in my free coaching program. It's a pretty good program, if I do say so myself. I take my best guess at the problems that you're currently facing, and then I deploy all my experience and expertise to try to give you a solution. You know what's even better than this free coaching program? Working with me one-on-one. Here's why. First off, I don't have to guess at the problem you're facing. You can just tell me directly. And then I also don't have to just give you one possible solution and then stop. We can go back and forth and keep refining the solution until it clicks for you. And you're not just going to get 3 to 5 minutes with me over an email or over a YouTube video. We're going to be together for a full hour live on Zoom. And I'm not just going to give you a one-off idea or solution. We're going to keep working together week after week until it's done. Knowledge isn't the hard part. Application is the hard part. My free content is all about knowledge. My one-on-one coaching is all about application. So if you've been enjoying the free coaching program so far, but you want to accelerate your progress, get in-depth customized application support, and get this done, come talk to me and let's get started. The link to book a free consult call is above.